Local and live. Covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Welcome to Let's Talk TriState. I'm Katie, joined by Mark Holler from the Cumberland Valley Business Alliance. And how you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing all right.
Good.
Last time you were here, we were discussing the bull and oyster roast.
Yes.
How was it?
I think it went pretty well.
Yeah?
I think it was successful. Yeah.
I wasn't able to get out that day. I cannot remember. I think I was sick. That's what it was.
Okay.
I was sick that day. But I wanted to ask you, did you have the same success as you had had in previous years with the event?
I believe it was. Yeah, I believe.
That's a big event. You guys always do such a good job with that.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad that was the last time I talked to you, so I'm glad everything went well. And now we're gearing up for the women's conference.
We are. Yeah, the Cumberland Valley Business Alliance Women's Conference will be happening here in the very near future, and we're pretty excited about it. This year, we're kind of branching out. We're looking to do some other things. Not make it member specific, so it's open. It is a half-day women's conference, but it has a theme this year, which has been different than just calling it a women's conference. This year we're going with a collaborate and elevate is the theme of the women's conference. And the speakers are really tied into how to collaborate and then elevate your day-to-day, your professional life, and as well as your personal life.
Do you know who your keynote speakers are?
We do know who the keynote speakers that are going to be there on May 7th. I should mention the location, May 7th. It's going to be at Rhodes Grove Campground Conference Center. So right here locally, plenty of parking, great facility, great place to have, some food and talking and things like that. But we have three speakers. Laura Ara is going to be speaking on gutsy leadership.
Her name's Laura Ara?
Laura Ara.
Love that name.
Yeah, so she's local from Greencastle. I saw the topic and I'm kind of like, man, I wish I could sneak in there, just to hear it, because gutsy leadership.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's about.
But it piqued your interest.
But it piqued my interest,
Absolutely.
Right? And then Heather Hockenberry, she's going to be talking about the power of emotional intelligence. And I've heard some of Heather's presentations in the past. They are on point. She's one you don't want to miss. And then Carrie Gray, and she's going to be diving into broadening your leadership scopes and capabilities as well.
And you said this is a half-day women's conference?
Half day, it's packed, and there's more than just speakers. So the folks from Hammer and Stain out of Chambersburg, they are going to be doing interactive craft, a DIY craft like they do in their shop up there. So all the attendees can get to do a craft that they'll help you with, but it's also it's a craft that's geared towards that team building and team leadership. So something you can take back and be like, hey, I want to do this for my staff and things like that. So you get to take that home with you. There will be breakfast served, and then to top it all off at the end, you get a Mama K sticky bun to take home with you. So come on. How can you not want to be there for this type of event and really come away feeling empowered?
I went to the women's conference last year, and I don't know if it was the same one, but I went to a women's conference. It was same thing. We had breakfast. There were two keynote speakers, and then in between the speakers, we broke out into little workshops and sessions.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do that with the speakers there. They make it. The speakers we've had in the past, Angie Allaire spoke, I think, last year. And they do a lot of small group participation.
I loved it.
Yeah,
there's nothing more powerful than getting women together to uplift each other, give each other advice, celebrate each other. And I was so hooked. Last year was actually the first year I'd ever been to a women's conference before.
Okay.
And I was so hooked. Yeah. And so this is something that 100%, and I love that it's not just for members. You said it's open to everybody.
You can go to the CVBA website, cvballiance.org. Under events, you can see a tab there for the women's conference. You'll find out how to register, and you'll find a lot more details than what I've just shared here this morning.
What is the cost for the conference? Do you know that off the top of your head? I know it's online.
I want to say it's 45.
Okay.
Please don't quote me on that.
Right.
Because it's very affordable.
And the great thing about these conferences is that if you're in any kind of management position or authority, you can take all these ideas, like you had mentioned with the craft, back to your staff and do a whole day of team building. That's not cheesy team building.
And it's not.
It's meaningful.
Yeah. And I think the nice thing about this, and in my role as membership director for CVBA, I meet so many business owners and so many business decision makers, from the biggest entities in our county down to the smallest, mom and pop, like what I refer to as mom and pop shops, but, one or two organizations. And a lot of them are female driven, and there are some savvy business ladies 100%. In this county, and they'll be there and they'll be sharing and they'll be taking back. But a lot of what they learn, it's applicable to the staff. So if they go back and the staff is male, female, it's still applicable, right?
Absolutely.
So
team building is team building.
Team building is team building.
And I know, when I was an elementary school teacher, anytime we heard team building, we all rolled our eyes and thought, oh my gosh, really again? But I know that just based off of the one conference I was at last year, the things that we did, they were fun. Yeah. They were meaningful. There was a purpose and a lesson that was, one of the workshops I did was just how to have conversation, just have small talk. Yeah. That was all it was. Yeah. How do you do small talk? Yeah. Something that you don't really think about, but that just those little small talk interactions with people, it's a big deal, and it's hard to master how to do that if you don't like it.
And that's something that we talk about on staff, and the volunteers that help me do my job, we talk about a lot, because these networking events that we have, that every member is entitled to, and we open those up to public as well. It's intimidating to walk into a room and see 100 people there that you may or may not know. And if you show up 15, 20 minutes late because of work or personal life, the groups have already formed. And it's like,
am I brave enough to break into this group?
Yes. And then, and I think, we all get busy. And I know before I came on staff at CVBA, I was guilty of this when I was in my previous employer, and I would go to these events. I'd see you there, and we haven't talked in a month. We haven't talked since the last week. What's new? What's going on in your personal life? What's going on in your business life? And so when somebody new walks up, it's kind of like, you forget. You forget why you're there sometimes. So I think it's very important that when you go to these events, whether it's the women's conference, whether you go to a networking event, a ribbon cutting, like come, even if you're a seasoned member of our organization, come with an open mind and come for like, hey, there's a face I've never met before.
Let me bring this person in and make them feel comfortable.
Make them feel part of the family. Make them, as we like to say, we want them to feel the love, right?
Absolutely.
You want them to be part of it.
That's what it is. I mean, we're a small town. We're a little community. We got to help each other out, get each other elevated and feeling good. And so,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And there's such value, in traveling 11 miles north to Chambersburg or 11 miles south to Greencastle, and interacting with the businesses and the decision makers that are here professionally for their careers, but also just socially. Like I can remember the day, I'm old enough to remember when you could drive on Route 11 from Greencastle to Chambersburg and all you saw was farmland. Well, those farmlands are shrinking. There's a lot happening. Businesses are popping up. There's a lot. We're becoming a more blended community. I mean, we're never going to call it Cheercastle or something crazy like that. It's still going to be Chambersburg, Greencastle, right? But it's blended, right?
Absolutely.
And we need to remember that. We need to do more of that and be supporting of. I love local businesses. I'm all about local businesses. We need to support one another.
Absolutely.
In both communities.
And so we have the Women's Conference May 7th.
May 7th,
and then is there anything that you're gearing up for after that you want to spend a little time discussing, or should we hold that for next time?
Well, before that, the end of this month, which is always a great time, we have our awards ceremony. So that, various businesses are going to receive different awards. It's always a really good time. Some businesses of the year, business people of the year. There's that, that community servant award that the great Sam Worley won 2 years ago. Such an icon here in Franklin County. So that is always a very well attended event. That's a good thing. But no, I think, that was the main focus. I think if you own a business, you're eligible to join the CVBA. Look me up. I'm on the I'm on the webpage. I'm out and about in the community. I was having a great conversation with one of our members the other day as to like, who's busier? Like, you know, and I still say he's busier than I am. He's a great friend of mine, but he's like, no, there's no way I'm busier than you. But I think he is, honestly.
The CVBA is just such a beneficial organization. I mean, you can learn so much from even people who maybe have opened a business that's not related to what your business is.
Right.
They still know how to be successful and the area and what it takes.
You know, I was sitting with a prospective new member before I came here today, and we were chatting, and I said, you know, he said, well, what do you talk about at these networking events? I'm like, well, you talk about your, you know, who you need to collaborate with, who you want to meet, your successes, but never forget to share your failures and your setbacks. You're going to learn more.
Absolutely.
You're going to learn more from those setbacks, you know, than those wins, because sometimes wins happen. Certainly you win because of all your effort, but sometimes they win organically. But your failures, you can learn a lot from your setbacks.
And it's nice to hear that too. You know, hey, we've all failed.
We've all stubbed our toes somewhere, right?
And we're here to talk about it and be open about it and learn from it and lift each other up.
Absolutely.
So, well, that all sounds really, really great. And I know that the awards dinner, the food is always rocking.
Yep, that's going to be a breakfast.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
And, you know, to give a shout out to Camp Joyelle, stepped up and they wanted to host an event, and they're hosting it and then they're catering. So that's going to be a really unique environment up there as well. And see a venue and a member's, you know, behind the scenes, and a member that we don't often get to see because they're flooded with campers all summer long. Right. So you don't see them, you don't think about them. So it's going to be nice being there, and that's going to be great. We really appreciate them stepping up. And then one last big announcement that it's been out there on social media just this week. Downtown Chambersburg Inc. has hired the new hiree.
Yep, I saw that.
Angie Allaire has graciously accepted that position in Cumberland, and she is bringing a tremendous amount of energy. If you know Angie, and there's probably some of the listeners out there know Angie, she brings energy full force to the table, but it's natural energy.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. And the funny thing is, when I say about these networking, she learned about this position in a conversation with me at a networking event where we just happened to be chatting, and she's like, what's new? And I said, oh, well, I've been doing this and that. She said, why are you doing that? Well, because we have an opening here.
Right.
Tell me about the opening. Told her about the opening, and then, you know, she took it the rest of the way home. Yeah. But it was just that opportunity to build a relationship, and I already had a great relationship with Angie, but to build a relationship even further.
I was very impressed with her. I guess bio would be the word. Yeah. I was reading all about her experience, and I thought this is perfect for Chambersburg.
Yeah. She is definitely. She can kick over some rocks. Let's put it that way.
Love it.
She'll turn some rocks over and make some things happen for us out there.
Hopefully she'll be at the women's conference.
I think she will be.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's going to be there.
Yeah, I'll have some questions and for her to chat with her about. But okay, Mark, that sounds great. Anything else that we hadn't covered that you want to make sure, maybe one more time, May 7th, women's conference.
May 7th. And Camp Rhodes Grove Campground, May 7th. Plenty of parking. Website, cvballiance.org. Go to the events tab, and you'll see the women's conference there. You can register, find out more of the information. But it's going to be a fun event.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TriState, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.